What's up? Welcome to this question of mine. I've been having this big question on my mind lately, and I'm just gonna get it out. And it has to do with how this next generation, or I guess people of America and potentially of the world, can get behind this, get more excited for life, get more excited for living, all of this sort of things. Sounds pretty broad, so I'm gonna clean up that question and try and maybe offer some like solutions. I don't know about solutions, but more like just open mind thoughts towards that. I see in the past, I remember my dad telling me about the American dream when I was younger. Like, yeah, the American dream, and he was excited about that. And I grew up in Germany, um, and I would be excited about that too, like coming to America to live the American dream. And I feel like his generation had more excitement and passion. And I see a lot in my generation that there's less curiosity and desire to plug into this American system to be a part of this society in a way. And it's not that black and white, but I see a lot of people wanting to live the van life. I see a lot of desire to just create clickbait content of funny memes, because that's what's, I guess, bigger for my generation. And I mean, I guess in a way I fall under that too, for sure. I'm creating a YouTube channel. I would love to get famous on YouTube, right? All right, I'm distracting myself from the point of this question though. Just a little bit of self questioning there too. But yeah, how do we get like excited for this world, for this life? Because it can be excited, but I see that the society we live in, there's so much questions about the, I don't know the words to use, like the spirit behind it. You hear a lot of people judging the American past and how much harm that we've done, and how can we get excited for life? And that's a big question for me, because I've been sort of existential for a long time. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I working hard to put energy into this life that I don't necessarily care about? But I'm finding it, and part of that is the quest of the search. And I see so much potential in this world, of course, and in this country. And I want to draw analogies. This is messy because it's very much an unformed sort of thought and feeling that I want to bring more clarity to. How can we get excited? The potential for what we can build and create is immense. I mean, look at all of what we have created. The last few years, we've created so much stuff, and that's cool. That's great. It's a metric for the potential of what we can create. Something I've been thinking lately, sort of in alignment with this, is when I walk through this neighborhood, or when I see an apartment complex, there's an immense amount of building and manufacturing, whatever, going on. But each individual is paying a price for that single space, that most of that money, or a lot of that money, goes to paying for the people who built it. And in some ways, at least from I see that the human race is evolving. And so I want to honor that, to those people who put in a lot of work to create these spaces for people to live in, and they get rewarded for it. Good on them. But a lot of times those people living there are slaving away at a job just to make ends meet, to continue to pay the bill, to live, to eat. And where is that going to? Are we just trying to slave away into a system that we don't necessarily care about, or slave away for a system we don't deeply care about, just to be able to retire? How how can we bring excitement and love and passion into what we do so that that retirement, that, I guess it comes down to like living more in the moment maybe. And if you're just projecting to save for a future to get a paycheck, that desire is somewhat gone. But when you're doing the things you love, whatever that might be, you can say for yourself, I love woodworking. When I'm doing woodworking and making something that I think is beautiful, I find true passion behind that. And how can we bring that forward? So that idea, that analogy of like the apartment complex, if each individual, if that group of people would come together as a network and their amount of money that goes monthly into paying for that apartment, that same amount of funds, if expanded into a more maybe communal sort of environment, or if the money was funneled differently, I think that they could create a way more beautiful space than that apartment complex and have leftover money. So if we're thinking of money as energy, a lot of that energy goes straight into just paying for someone else and paying to live. But if that same amount of money was monthly put into these collective groups to create a more beautiful space, I think it could be better. I don't know. Like this neighborhood that we live in, this house that I live in is like almost $1 million just because of the location. And if down this whole street, a lot of these big houses are like, just a couple living in. If, say, down this whole aisle, everyone would collectively share their money, and we could create such a beautiful building, maybe have a slightly smaller sleeping space, but we could have, I don't know, so much more beauty. We could have gardens, we could have whatever. I don't know the specifics of what we would have necessarily, but I think it could create for such a more beautiful space. And with that extra money, people could potentially work a little bit less and have more money to pursue those things that they think is beautiful. And I also am under the belief that if people truly pursue the things that they love, which is hard to even know because I feel like we're sort of brought into I don't want to be like negative, but manipulated and like gaslighted into believing that, to questioning ourselves, to like, I don't know, the whole schooling system is like teaching you to focus on one thing. And I guess I'm butting up against a wall here because I don't know how to fully express the thing that I'm thinking of. But I guess I'll close there. Close with a question. How can we change? I don't know that it's something that we can be legislated for, but as a people, as a community, we have so many means of like communal communication through like, Facebook, whatever. And a lot of these sort of apps and communication systems sometimes, like, I don't know, they're not used to their max potential. They're just used to share political views and divide people further. But the potential for something more is there. Oh, I feel it. There's a lot of good potential. So yeah, just gonna open that question up. How can we create this more beautiful world? And it's up to us as individuals. I'm opening up this question, trying to expand more. And this video is part of that. So like the video, subscribe to this channel. I'd love to hear a comment on how you think you as an individual could help, could follow your passion, could help create a more beautiful world. Peace.